Hi all, welcome back to Sunshine City Show. Well, today I want to talk about fake news, and today we'll just talk about the obvious fake news. We have Fox News right now calling out, not just calling out CNN at 2 minutes 44 into the Fox News video, which I'll post into this clip. CNN has interviewed Al Gore. Al Gore, his name came up in the investigations into Epstein. His name has come up as one of the people convicted. Well, Al Gore in 2 minutes 44 into the, and I don't know if I can find that information because Al Gore and Bill Clinton's connection to Epstein Island right now has been shut down on social media. And so that information is harder and harder to find because that information has been removed to protect Bill Clinton. Of course, they're not going to protect Trump. If Trump has any connection whatsoever, that's going to be there for everyone to see. But when it comes to Bill Clinton, that kind of information has to be hidden. So Al Gore comes online 2 minutes 44 into that Fox video and talks about mailboxes being removed and they want to blame Trump. Well, yeah, the mailboxes were being removed, then the truck comes back and replaces them with new mailboxes because they do that. They've been doing that for 5 years, going back to Obama, but we won't blame Obama for stealing mailboxes. So it's just a left agenda because when it comes to the politics and lying with Trump, everyone lies with Trump. And New Zealand doesn't get that yet. New Zealand media are in the dark about this. Most of the people here are brainwashed. So you've got CNN News is New Zealand, basically, because the Trump lying news, Trump lying news, it's very prominent here. You sit down with anyone here, it's F Trump, I hate Trump, that kind of thing. That's how New Zealanders think today. Trump's a racist. And you go, well, actually, goodbye. You don't understand. That's what it's like. And it's not probably that much better with the left in media today. The media today, the Antifa types. We'll call them Antifa types. Antifa, they want to go around cancelling culture because they think Trump's a racist, Trump's F Trump, I hate Trump, this kind of thing. This is Antifa, and this is kind of like Nazi Germany with the SS. They had the youth going around doing the same kind of thing, shutting up information and grabbing the Jews off the street. Well, they weren't grabbing them then, putting the little Jew symbols on the door. That kind of thing. We live in that day today where we're shutting down media. So it's really hard to back up evidence if they're removing evidence. I have a playlist below, like Project Veritas, exposing CNN with hidden cameras, going in, finding out that they were lying about Russiagate and lying about generally anything to come with Trump. And it wasn't just CNN, it was MSN, media in general. But I think I know they went into CNN. I think they went into MSN as well. But then they rely on people to come forward for Project Veritas to come in. So it depends on the institution and how people, who they're recruiting. But a lot of the people that are recruited usually are leftists who switch sides because they realise what's going on here is wrong. This is not just going to destroy Trump. It's going to destroy America when you elect these people. Because you know when Biden or Nancy get control, that it's just, here guys, put this dirt on Trump. You can take over now, United Nations. So United Nations has their own army. United Nations funded credit cards. I don't know if you can still find this information. They had credit cards with UN on the credit card. UN. $3,000 or $5,000 US, which is a lot of money. For New Zealand dollars, it's 60 cents US dollar to $1 New Zealand. So it's big money for us. So when you're talking $3,000, that's $5,000-$6,000 for someone to come up to America. Well, of course they're going to come up for that kind of money. That's a lot of money. And if it's $5,000, that's even like $8,000. Yeah, anyone would be coming up for that kind of money because you're giving them big money to come up. And this is what United Nations were doing. And, they had links to George Soros, that kind of thing. And some people said it was George Soros, but it was United Nations credit card. And they said his companies were involved. Then you've got Epstein Island, you've got Ixiom, you've got United Nations, Helen Clark, you've got United. All this is related to fake news. UN having control of the world, controlling media. Why do they want to control Trump? Why UN? Because he's a naughty boy? Because he's the orange man? Nationalism will just make that a Nazi thing? United Nations want to control media. So when they control Trump, they control media. Because Trump represents nationalism. When he's gone, when America's gone, nationalism is gone in the world. There's Australia. So who does Australia turn to if they haven't got Trump? New Zealand, well, they're socialists. They're not going to care. Canada, under their leader, Trudeau, are socialist again. They don't care. As they can keep these people in power, so that's what they're doing right now, is trying to keep Ardern in power, Trudeau in power, trying to keep it left. But even if New Zealand went national, voted in national is like two sides of the same coin, Labour and National. It's Labour and National got together, the two main parties got together and gave United Nations, gave their sovereignty to United Nations in 2008, which is 12 years ago. You think, well, okay, things have changed. Well, a lot of our leaders have stood down, and they've been Christian leaders. Now, John Key wasn't a Christian, but he stood down 2 weeks after Trump got elected. He was probably hoping that Trump got removed because the deep state said, we're going to get rid of Trump. We're going to get rid of him. And John Key possibly hung around, but in 2 weeks after, he resigned. And then we had Bill English. And he was under John Key. And John Key gave the reins to Bill English, who was meant to be a Catholic. And he stood down. And then it was given to Bill English. And Bill English was doing a relatively good job, but he was kind of like the yes boy kind of guy for Bill English. He was a yes guy when you go, yes, yes. And he down the corridor behind Bill English, there'll be two guys, and here's one of them. He's kind of the yes bully boy. Well, he took control, but then he was challenged and he removed himself. He didn't even want to fight. And they all talk about tending their families. Bill English is tending his family. Simon Bridges is tending his family. And now they took another guy, I think his name was Whitmore. He was in there for a couple of months. Another Christian guy. And then he stood down. And now there's another woman representing National, woman representing Labour. Because for some reason women are quite happy to take the role. They know full well that United Nations is controlling New Zealand. This is why these Christian guys have stood down. They've stood down because they know United Nations really rules New Zealand. They have no power. They can't rule this country. Because this country is not ruled by New Zealand. We're just puppets of United Nations. And Australia had more control. We're on the same sort of gun control they had. We had the Christchurch thing. And you're not allowed to talk about it. You can't even use that as backup evidence. I did a video on it. It was taken down. Everyone that did a video on Christchurch was taken down. You cannot even talk about it. That is the problem. For some reason, Ardern made a stink. We don't want people talking about Christchurch. And now she gets up there with her red church, red glowing beams. And, Jamie Strange in Hamilton represents us. He's on the west side. of Hamilton is representing us, said he was a pastor, a youth pastor or something in his previous job. That's another thing today. You have to be careful of who the people are that are representing you if you're a Christian. There are a lot of charismatic people out there, and they're asking for money all the time. Can you give me some money? Can you be a Patriot member? Can you do this for me? Can support the sad, survival food, coins, you know. I get that a lot of the Christians have been defunded, but if they haven't been defunded, why the heck are you giving them money? If they've got 200,000 subscribers, they say for every 1,000 people that have watched your videos, it's $2. Approximately. It's $1 to $3 for every 1,000 views. Thereabouts. Not much money. But if you've got millions upon millions of views, then, you know, that's a lot of money. All up. So you've got a lot of money all up, so why do you need, or that I assume that you've been defunded, that YouTube has defunded you. Although Louder with Crowder, they're back now into funding. They can get money off YouTube right now. So we have this deception from United Nations. Well, we have this deception in media right now. We'll get back to that. And it is hard because the news media doesn't have to back up anything. When news media publish something, they have a news media license. So they're assumed to be correct. Whereas a vlogger like me needs to back up everything. But then if they're removing the news, and I'm not going to be quoting news media because news media are fake news. So when you're calling out fake news, you should be calling out CNN. Should be calling out MSN. Should be calling out ABC Australia. Should be calling out New Zealand media. Fake news, right? But no, you're not. You're saying the normal vlogger guy, and what if a vlogger gets on and he gets it wrong? News media can get it wrong with a news media license, but why should that guy just vlogging? He's vlogging. He's giving his ideas to his subscribers. And then you can get cancel culture. So with me, I have 700 subscribers. I had a guy with 34,000 subscribers have his guys pour into one of my videos and downvote it. That was my fault because I jumped from idea to idea without backing it up. But I did go on his channel and back up some my ideas with evidence on the chat against him. But it's like, well, why didn't you do that in your video? I don't have the graphic skills to do that. And I'm just a vlogging channel. If YouTube paid me, and they don't pay me anything because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. If YouTube paid me, then I'd have more incentive. Rather than getting on, well, it used to be one a day, one video a day. Lately it's been an average of one every 2 days for the last week. And why should I, as a vlogger, back up my information? Because at university we were taught that we had to back up our information. But my ideas couldn't be backed up. It was my own ideas, but I had to back it up with someone else's information because I couldn't credit my ideas from me. And when I talk about John Key and his slave ships, that kind of thing, I say, well, back that up. It was in the New Zealand Herald 10 years ago. Look it up, Google it. No, we want you to fact check it. Because you're just a vlogger. You don't have a news media license. I'm talking to my subscribers. If they choose to trust me or they don't choose to trust me, it's up to them. If YouTube pays me, which it doesn't, because I haven't got to 1,000 subscribers, haven't got to 4,000 hours, why should I back up my information? Seriously, guys. I am sick of crediting my ideas for someone else. That's like I'm giving my ideas to them. So I can find out someone who thinks like me and give my quote, my message, my beliefs to that person because I'm not credible to you. I say, F you, because that's just wrong, how you're thinking. And I have to reference myself because for you, I'm not a credible person. Why don't you leave my credibility to my subscribers? And if their subscribers grow and they believe in me over a period of time and my information is correct, then I become credible. 1-2 years, just about everything I've said has come true. There's been some things where I've been querying it. I'm not sure about something and I'm just asking what the answers are. You can't fact check that, can you? Because I'm asking you. And when I describe something, I'm describing what 5G is. That it's electrical. And then you say it's my idea. It's not my idea. I'm just describing it. And also, I attacked David Icke 5G before for saying that it gave COVID. I attacked him for it. And after it, I've always said it's not. And you're picking up this video I did a week ago, and you've done clips of my video, and you've changed my wording. So you're wondering why Trump can be taken out of context, because you don't take something into context. If you can't describe anything, well, they go, oh, this guy said and ah. And ah. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. And my confidence in building myself up to 1,000 subscribers is about removing that part of me, about getting that confidence. Because in my previous job, 27 years, I was representing media, but I had to talk to clients that had these, F Trump, I hate Trump. I had to talk to those types of people all the time. And they're everywhere in New Zealand. It's sad to say, but this country is brainwashed by a media, brainwashed by the fake news. And my belief systems, my Christian belief systems, you can attack that for it, but you're attacking a Bible that explains our history and everything else. And recently, if you look at my playlist, you'll see they came out with the city of David, that's just starting to discover stuff that backs up the Bible. They have, you know how you have stamps? Well, they have that with the scribes. They had stamps as well, and they're finding out where they were living, that kind of thing. And they're learning that this history is correct and exact. And so the Bible was describing time zones, things that happened in time zones. Those things are correct. And if you're wanting to learn about history, that would be the Bible, because in every takeover in the world, every takeover, cities were destroyed. When they destroyed a city, they destroyed the books, they destroyed statues, which is what Antifa are doing now. It's kind of what you do when you take over. This is what they're wanting to do with America, take over the nationalism, burn the books of the history of the civil wars and everything else. A lot of this stuff was New World Order, Freemasons were in it. But the Freemasons are also sponsoring CIA. Media are creating this madness of Antifa, fake news, creating madness of Trump being racist, Trump being sexist, that kind of thing. Trump did say some things. He's not perfect. But then I would say to every person that's Antifa and they're beating someone to their death on the street, I would say that person's not perfect either. A trucker trying to affect a transgender, I thought transgenders were on his side. Chad City destroying black people. You had the black guy coming on Fox News saying no one had even seen him. Fox News was the first to see him. I mean, I'm sick of bringing these references up because I mentioned it, and I have to bring it up and put it in my video, in my below my video, put it in as a reference, because now that I've said that, I have to put that in there. It's just annoying. It's annoying that I have to do that. I just want to get on there. I want to vlog. You could take me. I do not lie. I might have a false sense of reality. That's up to you. Whether or not you're going to shut me down, another thing. Cancel culture me, another thing. Anyway, thank you all. I just hope that we survive in this cancel culture right now. I think They want to give media and social media a media license of whether they think we should carry on. I think when you sign up to YouTube, when you get your 1,000 subs and your 4,000 hours, that there may be criteria that comes along those lines, and if you don't meet that criteria, you're gone. And that's probably another thing that I have to learn about, and referencing everything I say. Thank you all.